Good morning, guys. Can everyone hear me? Happy Friday to everyone. Well, we're starting off with bad news. Disney had some bad earnings, so I'm going to be looking at that trade that we had going into that July Expo for Disney. So that's the first thing I'm going to be looking at. It's still climbing off the lows here. You know, it was down over 5%. It's coming back up from those lows. So I'm going to see if that reversal continues from these lows here. If it does, I may hold on to it there, holding at that 170 support. Other news here. It's a pretty good day for the rest of the market. We have ExxonMobil on the climb, nearing $60 again, up about 1% in the pre-market. We have Carnival Cruise Line was taking off nicely here in the pre-market as well. They just announced some more ships starting to sail.
Plans to classify Britain as a coronavirus risk region. From Reuters.
Announces launch of additional new voyages, which will be bookable from May 22nd. Also announces another ship will resume cruise operations on July 3rd. So we got a lot of good news coming out of CCL now with everything reopening again. Let's go down the watch list here. We'll use the 3-month daily. Amazon looks like it found some support right around the 3,100 area. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that, see if we see a little hook pattern formation. Baidu. Facebook having another nice breakout here. You see how the markets are reacting now to these fears, that we keep seeing in the market. So, you have to keep that in mind. First type of news we hear, we have to look and decide if that's going to move the market here because, with the administration now, I think the markets are getting a little spooked. So any type of news, we got to evaluate what's going on in the news there and how that's going to affect the trades. Facebook starting to climb off that 300 support. I think we're going to have a good day trade Friday today. Got some nice movement in the market. AMC is moving nicely here too. Here we go, guys. 9:30. Good luck today. Let's make some good day trades. AMC got a big pop up about 4% there. We have that out of the money vertical spread 14.15. Wanted to watch ExxonMobil here to see if what that's going to do. There we go. A nice breakout there on ExxonMobil. Big breakout above 60, 60.24, 60.25. Nice climb there. Let's see that continue. Let's see Schlumberger. That one was one we talked about yesterday on the market movers and the upgrades. Schlumberger up another 2% today. Speaking of which, let's go over the upgrades quick this morning. Let's see. Those Disney options still haven't updated.
There's the opening bell, guys, at the New York Stock Exchange. Jim, it does appear like we're sort of inching that direction. I noticed Delta Airlines this morning. CNN reports that
JP Morgan, nice gain there. GE, we're up $430 on those couple of contracts today. Let's see GE.
CIDM, Ceradyne announcing rapid subscriber growth.
General Electric got a nice climb here today, guys.
Bandor, Charlie India, Delta Michael, CIDM.
Let's see what Disney's doing. Delta's got a big climb today. Back in the channel. All we got to see Delta do is break that 20, and we'll see a nice reversal there. That's what I'm going to be looking for, a weekly trade.
Coming up at 10, business inventories for April, plus 0.4.
JP Morgan near the highs.
course, it was in a deal to be acquired by Canadian Pacific, but is now entering a deal to be acquired by Canadian National. That is the news, of course, that we can share with you this morning. A revised proposal from Canadian National, even beyond what they had already bid, is enough for the board of KSU to say, yep, this is superior. And so Canadian Pacific, you are now on the clock. You have 5 business days during the so-called match period to come up with something that essentially does that, or else we will sign up the deal with Canadian National. We're talking next Thursday. And in their new deal, or in this deal that is superior and likely to be signed up, I'll get to that in a moment, they do top up the ratio to make sure it actually equals the 325 that they originally said. But remember, most of this is cash, $200 a share in cash. They also would pay the breakup fee that KSU would owe to CP, $700 million, and they also will institute a $1 billion break fee with their break fee if, in fact, they don't get voting trust approval. Remember, I think it was a week ago when I talked a lot about the voting trust approval, the fact that
Let's see here.
Canadian Pacific got it, and the decision by the STB would seem to have indicated, based on the specific things that we're looking at, that
House Republicans are voting on that
but it clearly is a sign
Stefanik
that
to leadership number 3.
they will, obviously Canadian National believes they will as well. So what is Canadian Pacific going to do over these next 5 years?
I'm looking at the upgrades and downgrades here. I'll go over those with you now quick. Time is at 9:34, 4 minutes in.
Shore that up, to change the composition, to bring in a
Start looking for some day trades soon here.
it does not appear likely
AMC still climbing up about 7% now.
not to prejudge the situation. Remember that they're starting to talk with the board.
At that $15, if that gets up to that 15 resistance there, we put on a high risk, high reward setup there. But if it hits that 15, we're going to have about a 386% gain, I believe it was.
Taking shots at the ability of Canadian National to get this voting trust. That's the key here, because that's the
Here are the upgrades for today.
and they may just keep doing that. Why not just not bother with the match period, but just wait and see?
See if we see anything good here we could put on the watch list for a possible day trade today. I'm looking at the market movers too to see if any of these Wall Street bets people are getting in anything here, but all I'm seeing is AMC really moving here. Neo's starting to have a little climb. Fisker's still up about 14% after record earnings. Palantir up about 4%. All right, let's see what we can find off this watch list here for a possible day trade. Funko, still another upgrade on Funko. From underperformed to buy, a $30 price target. That one's been upgraded for, what, I think the past week? We'll take another look at Funko today.
Bipartisan group of U.S. senators to propose Friday $52 billion in funding to boost U.S. semiconductor production and resource. That, according to Reuters sources.
Huge implications for supply chains, guys, and the transports, obviously.
Also includes $2 billion to solely focus on legacy chip production used by
Funko's 513. Yep, you're right. It's 513 there. Let me see if they have an updated list here. They come in as they come in.
Included as part of research bill the Senate will take up next week.
Tens of billions of dollars to their U.S. plan, which they haven't announced yet.
There we go. We got some more.
Shares of Ford ticking higher, letter F. Ford hitting a high of 1170, now 1169 on letter F.
PBR is taking off again. That just moved up to the top of the market mover list. Petrobras, $9.54, up 3.42%. All right, so here we go. Here's the updated list right now for all of today's dates. Let's take a look at Save-A-Lot, Spirit Airlines, DoorDash, Aurora Cannabis, DoorDash, Airbnb, Snowflake. That one's too volatile. All right, so let's put these down here. SAVE. We're going to analyze these charts here in a sec. DoorDash, ACB.
Watching shares of Intel now, find that headline dropping here,
ABNB.
54.40. INTC, shares of AMD ticking lower. Alpha Michael Delta.
We'll take a look at host hotels to see how the hospitality industry is doing. All right, so the big ones are outperforms we want to look at. From inline to outperform, hold to buy, underperform to outperform, market perform. All right, let's look at some of these charts. Amazon up 45 points today. Save looking pretty good there. It looks like it found some support. It's right at that 10. That was upgraded to, what was that one? 35 target. Pure perform. So that's just about right where the stock's at now. These guys, I tell ya. Let's see, DoorDash is starting to look great here on a daily chart. Might get a nice pop back up to about 150. This is a mover here. Let's see, we could possibly do some day trading on DoorDash here. Let's take a look at the option chain, see if we have the volume. All right, let's see. They're going for quite a bit of money. $2.90 a contract for the 128s. Let's take a look at the minute chart here, see if it's got that move in it that could, I could see getting up to 130 possibly, or back down to about 124, 123. It's consolidating the past few candles here. Now if that breaks at 130, you could definitely look at a day trade here quick. But right now it's just pretty flat. Delta's having a great day, up 2.32%. Caterpillar's still on the climb, lagging the general market, but still on the climb.
Don't usually get the media coverage the stock market does. In fact, most people don't find them all that exciting. But if you're looking for the potential for consistent income that's federally tax-free, now is an excellent time to consider municipal bonds from Kenyon and Walsh.
ExxonMobil 60.41 now. Nice climb on ExxonMobil.
800-376-4376. We'll send you our exclusive bond guide, free, with details about how bonds can be used.
We have the July Expo, I believe, on ExxonMobil, June 18th.
Fixed income and growth solutions for 30 years. It offers high-quality
Schlumberger's been on that upgrade list for a while here as well. 32.41, up over 2% again today, but still hasn't broken resistance yet. Right around 32.70 to 32.80.
376-4376. That's 1-800-376-4376.
Tonight, while Tesla dropped Bitcoin, examining the timing of Elon Musk's decision. Plus, Michael Jordan honors the Mamba, previewing Kobe Bryant's Hall of Fame ceremony. The facts, the truth, the news with Shepard Smith, 7 Eastern, CNBC.
ExxonMobil's investor meeting is May 26th. The company facing increasing
Came right down to that 50-day simple moving average. It's held that so far. Now what we got to see on SPY is break that, 415.90, 416 area. Then we're going to have a run to new highs again. So you see, this is what we got to focus in on for the trade challenge that's starting next week. What I want to look at here now when we're going forward with the trade challenge is we're going to be doing, 1-2 trades at a time. Most important thing is going to be analyzing these charts, looking at them, and seeing what we're looking for. So far, we've got a confirmed bounce on SPY off that 50-day simple moving average. What's happening with that? Well, you saw those 3 days of retracement. We had the pipeline that was down. We had the cyber attack. We had some shootings. You know, there was some crazy things happening that retraced that market a little bit down to that 50-day simple moving average. So, you know, you really have to understand why you had that retracement. Now those fears are kind of being lifted after the pipeline's reopening here. So now you're getting that spike in the market again. So now what we got to see is we got to see if we can break that resistance and head higher. If it does, that's telling us that the markets are really spooked, you know, that they're reacting on any type of news events that are happening in, you know, either the economy, politics, news, whatever's going on. So that's what's really important, is focusing in on what's causing that retracement there, and is it going to be a short-lived thing, or is it going to be something longer term? Like, for example, if we heard about those rockets, those 100 rockets being attacked, and then we heard Biden say, you know, he was going to, you know, start some troop action over there, you know, then that's something that's going to be a little bit longer lived in the market, and, you know, they're going to start talking about that on the news, and that's going to spook the markets a bit. So that's why you got to look at the news and evaluate what's going on. You know, is it something that's going to be short-lived? And, you know, like with the pipeline crisis, you know, that's fixed. That's good to go now. It's going to slowly trickle back. We should be good in about a week with that. You know, like, you have to look and see what's going on. So we're getting a nice climb. Dow's up 233 points. Nasdaq's up about 120. And SPY's up about 34 points. So we just got to see if the markets are going to hold here, and if we're going to continue to see good news coming out.
Continue Coca-Cola Energy in the U.S. and Canada. Shares of Coca-Cola at 55.01, up 50 cents. That's KO. Shares of Monster Beverage topping here a bit, $90.77.
Bank of America Securities maintains neutral on Airbnb, lowers price target to 180. SPY's hitting new highs here again.
I think the challenge in this space is understanding the technology that's going to be required to drive the industry forward and to support society's ambition to transition the energy system to a less carbon intensive.
ExxonMobil's holding its gains as well, 60-40. If we could break that 61 and have that next run here on ExxonMobil, that'd be great. If we get a green candle on Monday and we break that 10-day simple moving average, I'm probably going to add more to our second ExxonMobil trade. Remember, we already closed one out. Now we're going to be looking to close this one out. Well, we'll add to it if we get that confirmation climb off that 10-day on Monday. I'll add to it, and then I'll look for that quick 62.50 to 63 area. But I want to really see how it reacts here to the pipelines being opened. You know, it's getting a nice climb today. It's up about 2%. So it's interesting to see it climbing still with, you know, the pipeline opening back up. So that's good news. I was thinking about that last night. Before I was going to bed there, I was thinking, how is ExxonMobil, how are these energy stocks going to react to the pipeline opening? And so far, we're still climbing. See if SPY's still at new highs here of the day.
We've been very supportive of the efforts globally and within the industry to reduce carbon intensity and carbon emissions. If you look at the progress,
Remember, we were looking at DoorDash as a possible day trade. That's pulled back from those highs when we were looking at them. About 15 minutes, 16 minutes into the trading day now. So we should start to see some direction of the general market if we're going to either lay flat, start another climb, or pull back from the highs this morning. That's what we got to be focused on now with Qs, SPY, and Diamond ETF. SPY still continuing to make new highs.
Decarbonize that today don't have solutions. We have been working for decades.
FedEx having another nice breakout.
Is required to address
So you see what it did. For 3 days, it retraced down to that 20. Now it's breaking out again.
vision. And so I would tell you that
The general market pulled back because of that news we heard.
you know that we recently announced a very large opportunity in Houston that can make a significant contribution to the Biden administration's recent announcements of significantly reducing CO2 emissions, make a significant contribution to Houston reaching its net zero by 2050 emissions target. So I would tell you we've been doing the work within our own operations to reduce emissions and doing the work required by society to help them reduce their emissions.
Even with that Disney hit today, still having a pretty decent day.
Perfect. I don't understand. You have $64 price of oil. I think you guys
Up over $2,000 for the day so far. And I want to look for some good day trades now. Our FedEx trade's up about $250 today. We have the 2 contracts for the December 17th 310 strike. And FedEx, I mean, you can see the daily chart here looking really good. So thinking about adding to that. They have the price target of $350 if you remember that upgrade on FedEx. So, you know, you see the markets reacting to that news for a few days. Things have cleared up with the missile attacks, with the gas line, and, you know, with politics, you know, kind of calming down a little bit. So you know how it gets with politics. So once you see that stuff calm down, now we're having that next climb. Right down to that 20, having a nice climb off that 20-day support. FedEx is still climbing here. Look at that big candle on FedEx. 307.56.
Coming up, business inventories for March, month-over-month, plus 0.3% expected.
Let's look at the analyst research and reports for FedEx.
Make sure the company's in a very good position to face whatever the future holds and whatever the commodity cycle throws to us.
Yeah, we had a similar conversation yesterday with Pioneer's Scott. Yeah.
I mean, their average price target for FedEx here is over $332. I mean, we're only at 307.56, and this is a good company. So there you go. You got some buyers coming in, still climbing. So this is looking really good for us. I really think I should be adding to this trade. We have, and remember, we have that longer term expo. You know, we want to give it time for these, you know, hedge funds, institutions to start buying as they're giving these continued upgrades, these analysts.
Even the most advanced carbon capture unlikely to enable you to avoid transforming your business model over the long term. Again, your response.
that is not
He is not choosing not to respond.
right. That's the empty chair. It's not the victim. You know,
We lost the connection.
that's a great question.
Because
You know, so
we're going to try and
it's
get
a,
back.
what you hear that's
Let's see what else is on the market mover list here.
a lot of money. I mean, even for this administration flying around.
Fisker pulled back from those highs this morning. That's why I usually give the market the first 15 minutes of the trading day. And guys, we're starting our trade challenge next week here. So what we're going to be looking for are day trades and swing trades. Maybe make one of each. That way we could look and focus in on a day trade each day and then have that swing trade as well. And we can analyze it, go through it day by day. ExxonMobil still climbing here, guys, holding that 20-day simple moving average. Let's see it break that 60-50 now and then have a continued run. BP. BP's having a nice climb. Look at the daily chart on BP. Came right down to that blue 20-day simple moving average. You see that's what it's been doing throughout the cycle here. Starting that climb again. Schlumberger. And we'll check Chevron. Schlumberger near the highs, up almost 3% for the day. CVX, Chevron, that's having another nice climb off that 20. So it's everything's trading, you know, kind of similarly. Keep that in mind here. 3 days, 4 days of a pullback from that news, and we're climbing. Looking good here, climbing well up off that 10. So that tells me I'm going to be looking for ExxonMobil to do that same thing. And there goes ExxonMobil again, still climbing. I'd like to see ExxonMobil at about $61 by the end of today. I think that's possible.
Public buildings. Sweet. Oh, no, he wasn't. Oh, actually, that was
Delta is still continuing to climb. That's getting a nice climb here. I want to see that break that 20. It hasn't broken that 20 since it started that breakdown momentum on the upper end of this channel here. So we got up to that upper end of the channel, got up to resistance from previous highs. We failed at that double top in this channel. We continue to retrace. We finally broke below the channel for about a couple of days here, but now if we fail at this 20, that's not going to be a good sign for Delta continuing forward here on this chart. That would be a sign of retracement and a pullback from this cycle. So what we want to see on Monday is that break above that 20-day simple moving average. That's really important on Delta. And so far, you guys heard they're doing away with the mask mandates, and they said they're lifting the travel ban soon.
ELTK halted on a
Shortly, I think it was.
Echo Lima Tango Kilo on the way down. FB Facebook Irish High Court says refusal relief sought by Facebook Ireland. Copy of order posted by.
I can't see Disney continuing much lower here, you know. I mean, our calls on it are basically worthless right now, so I'm going to be holding on to them. We still have over a month until Expo. But Disney, I mean, it looks like it could come back down to about, I'm looking at the chart above, right about 165 we got support. Still holding that 170 area now. I think you might see some value investors start to jump in soon. They still have upgrades and target changes of over $200 a share. And remember, this is the first year of that CEO in office. He's definitely got to get a little bit better on those webcasts for earnings calls. Start talking about the positive things on those earning calls. Facebook's still continuing to break out, up about 2.5% today. That's another one on a daily chart here that if you look, came right down to support at 300, right down to that 50-day simple moving average as tech continued to decline over the past few weeks.
Business inventories for March month-over-month expecting plus 0.3%.
That was up 287 points. Nasdaq's up 146. SPY is up. S&P 500 is up about 40 points.
Frankly, any credible independent body will tell you that carbon capture and storage is a critical element for the world to achieve the Paris.
Petrobras, remember this? We were in for a while here. Now we finally got a breakout. Remember we had a $9.50 to $10 target for that June Expo. Do you guys remember that? Because I really want to focus in on the psychology of trading here when we're starting our new trade challenge. I want a few of the members in the trade room here to hear this. Remember when we got into that PBR trade? You know, it didn't do much when we entered in. I mean, it just continued to trade sideways here, but it held that $8 support. You know, it continued, I mean, from March all the way up until, you know, really until May here, until we had that big breakout above resistance at $9. So once we had that, now we're starting that breakout momentum cycle on PBR. But remember we had that June Expo, you know, and you know there's a few people that were really worried about this trade in the trade room there. We ended up selling it for a small profit on one of these days that it broke a little higher here. And you know, if I just held on to that trade for that June Expo there, you know, it's still continuing that cycle to break out momentum. And you could be targeting that $10 now going forward, which is going to be that next resistance area we talked about. Let's see, Dayron says Hertz is still on the run. HTZGQ. Hertz, $7.15. We were talking about that $10 target the other day. That's a nice one there. We were. I still remember trading that when it was at what, $1 some, $1.50. Disney's holding that 170 there, Avilio. 170.62. Let's see if it holds that support area. If we do, maybe I'll make a another shorter term trade on Disney on a bounce back there after this earnings drop. Moderna's having a big run today, up over 3%. Moderna held that 150 support. Disney above 171 now. ExxonMobil still continuing to climb near the highs of the day. Let's see, FedEx. Skyjack said FedEx at the highs of the day here. Nice breakout on FedEx there on last candle. Up about 3,000 now for the day. Even with that SPY hedge still in place. Day's gain, $2,941.
Darren, always appreciate it. Sorry for the technological glitch there, but happy we could conclude the interview and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
FedEx still climbing. Now we're up about $3,100 for the day.
We've hacked the hour.
I can't believe it. So it said in Q1 news that they wouldn't take the do the. Okay, so we've got on there tonight the consolation prize.
So the trade challenge we're starting, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking for one swing trade and a day trade. And if we find that each day, we're going to make the trade. And we're going to do like what we did in December of, what was it, when we had our first trade challenge, 2018.
Back above 41.50. Don't go away.
FedEx on the climb here still. That 350 target, that's why we got the expiration. We have let it have enough time here for those analysts to send out their reports, give their upgrades. Then the hedge funds, institutional funds, retail traders, as they start seeing that, they're going to jump in as well. Who's drawing on my screen there?
Coming up, business inventories plus 0.3% in line on business inventories. Michigan consumer sentiments for May 82.8. That's well below the 90.4 estimate. S&P futures moving lower.
Baird maintains outperform on Airbnb, lowers target to $200. Let's take a look at Airbnb. $200 target. The stock's at 137 now.
TDY and FLI are.
This might be a good one to look for a day trade on. Let's take a look at the option chain. You know, as restrictions are being lifted, more people are searching for Airbnb. Hotels are slammed around here. But then again, I'm really in a tourist area of Orlando. Any of our members do Airbnb? Rent their houses or anything out on Airbnb? How's that going? Is it picking up? That trade we made on JP Morgan here, that's having a nice day. Up about 7% on that longer term June 2022 Expo. Remember, that was a safer trade that we said we wanted to make for that longer term Expo going over a year until expiration. It doesn't mean we have to hold it until June of 2022. We could sell it at any time, But we like that chart setup. We like the analyst recommendations and everything for going out further. So we picked that up, especially with the rising interest rates they were talking about possibly doing in December. Not a bad trade there to make on a longer term financial move. There we go. Airbnb is on the move. I'm thinking about doing a day trade on this. I can see that getting back up to that 142.50. Dow's now up 308 points. But instead of doing a day trade on Airbnb, with that upgrade, I think I might do a trade for next week's expo. It's in the breakdown momentum cycle right now. You got to understand that. But we have a flattening here, and we just got some recent news that might push it higher. Airbnb is on Benzinga's top ratings upgrades, downgrades for May 14th. So as that circulates now, if people say, oh, wow, now's a good time to invest in Airbnb shares, you know, as that demand continues to come in, we're going to see that volume pick up, and, you know, we should get back up to resistance right around 165-ish, maybe 175 we could target. So if we see a base forming right here, you know, we see this positive information coming out. Obviously, you heard the news yesterday about the mask mandate being lifted for vaccinated people, and they're talking about lowering the social distancing. So we do have some good news coming out. Our travel restrictions, they said, are going to be lifted shortly. That was from the CDC. So they keep talking about Disney Plus here on CNBC. I'm watching Disney up above, 171.26 now. Airbnb is getting a nice climb here, guys. I might jump in next week's expo. I'm looking at the option chain here. May 21st. We could go out to the June 18th if we wanted a really safe trade on it. 140s are only going for about $11. Might pick up a couple of those. Let's see. I'm going to pick up 2 contracts of the... I'll get 3 contracts of the 140s for the June 18th expo. 1050 by 1150. So remember, put in that limit order there. Alrighty, so I am filled on Airbnb at $11 a contract. I'm going to post that in the trade room here. Very volatile stock, so just keep that in mind when you're trading this one. Big candles, guys. Big candles from 140 to 137.50. You know, that's a $2.50 swing in a very short period of time.
U.S. refiner Citgo received second Jones Act waiver after Colonial Pipeline outage caused a supply crunch.
And Brer's having a great day today, if you guys have checked that out.
the U.S. savings rate at 15%. Just to put that into numbers, that's $6 trillion in a savings rate, right? And that was about 900 billion pre-COVID. So these are all really important data points that are new to 2021. And it's very crowded to have stocks in your portfolio over bonds. Everyone's saying that. We've seen tremendous flows into equities. The difference this year is going to be security selection, David, and that's where the kind of value balance comes in.
To your point, I mean, Rick Santelli just said it. Inflation data this week, hot, hot, hot. And yet we saw Treasury yields climb higher midweek, and now since then they basically retreated. So what is the bond market signaling? And at what point does that actually shift and become a bigger story if we continue to get these hot, hot, hot numbers?
Yeah, Morgan, that's the million-dollar question here. That's the tail risk to this base case of recovery of inflation that I've been talking about. And also, I read this morning that inflation.
All right, target's going to be 160. We'll have her stop right around 130, 132.
What the Treasury market is saying, especially with the fact that it hasn't been able to break into a new higher range, is that they're giving the Fed the benefit of the doubt. And the T word, transitory. If you look at that month-over-month number that I mentioned was the highest in 4 years, mostly all of the miss from consensus was based on used car sales.
Neo's moving quite a bit here again.
Based on used car sales.
Let's see, I'm looking for a good day trade. If you guys see anything moving, just let me know in the trade room. We'll take a look at it.
There are investors on the tape talking about that this morning. There's still 8 to 10 million people that are unemployed since pre-COVID. They want to see that improve before they believe that we're moving from a transitory.
Disney 170, 158. That one's taken off. Nasdaq's up about 159. Dow's up 269 now. And Brer's having a big breakout here as well. Remember, we picked up those 1,000 shares. 1219. That, again, look what it's been doing through that breakout momentum cycle. It's been testing that 20-day, that blue 20-day simple moving average on a daily chart here. And then it's climbing, coming down to that 20 and getting a confirmed bounce. And it's been doing that through the whole cycle here. So that's what I'm watching and focusing in on Embraer, is those support areas at that blue 20 SMA, and then the general ones here like at $11. Now if we continue to break out here, now that 12 resistance that we saw here, now that's going to be acting as support once we could get that confirmation candle on Monday. Disney near 172 now. Avilio, your Palantir's climbing here as well. Let's take a look at that on it today, 1 minute. Not as clear of a breakout as some of these other ones, but still moving. AMC, Neo, Ford. CEO of Disney already increasing capacity at our parks. That's from yesterday. Boeing's climbing nicely. Well, let's see. That's what I was saying. If Disney found support, we could possibly find a nice day trade on that.
Dow Jones
Didn't break that 50 yet.
Dark side hackers have told associates they are shutting down, according to FireEye. Says website of dark side hacking group linked to Colonial Pipeline attack is down. There's a FireEye just off the highs now, 2007. up 2.8%.
Towards that 70 to 80% level where we would all get herd immunity. But this new guidance also puts businesses in a kind of difficult decision to decide between going by what was announced yesterday.
See if Disney can break that 50 here. The SMAs are converging.
That were already in place. A lot of these companies have to make that decision. Right
I don't think it's going to break that 50 just yet. Analyst ratings for DoorDash, Save, Airbnb.
Walgreens, they're still reviewing these CDC guidelines. We've also heard from one company that said
There goes AMC again.
that's the Wynn Las Vegas. They gave us a statement telling us in part
Fisker's taking off.
that they're not required to wear a mask.
Let's see what Spy's doing.
Required to wear a mask if they are not.
Spy is
Figure this all out. Still very important to remember when it comes
still flat since about
to planes.
10 o'clock. We could see if we could break that 415 area.
If you're vaccinated or not.
If we do, we could have another nice run in the market.
Americans have a lot to absorb in terms of
Big climb though off that 50 support.
as we go to break, take a look at the roadmap for the rest of the hour.
And if you look at Spy on a daily chart here, you guys could see
Reporting its first quarterly results as a public company.
Plus, is the New York exodus overblown? We're going to have a closer look at the city's rental resurgence.
didn't even come down to that 400 support. We held at that 50, which it's been doing.
Jay Timmons on the economic recovery, infrastructure spending, the potential impact of corporate tax changes. Squawk in the Street will be right back.
50-day simple moving average is more what institutions use for their buy signals.
If you wake up thinking about the markets and want to make the right moves fast,
50 in the 200-day.
get Decision Tech from Fidelity. You'll get proactive alerts from market events before they happen, and insights on every piece of decision. With zero commission online U.S. stock and ETF trades. For smarter trade decisions, get Decision Tech from Fidelity.
Let me see. Let me get Airbnb out for you here. So Airbnb, our target is going, or catalyst is going to be, it's holding that support right around that 132, to 135 area. It just had a recent upgrade to $200 a share, and they definitely have some more bookings coming in now with the restrictions being lifted.
Don't look back with regret. Just go to full.com/TV now.
Today's playoffs could be a wake-up call for those investors ahead to the split big tech.
By 2025, 75% of the data is going to be outside of those traditional clouds.
Leveraging the human genome, if you're going to see innovations in life sciences reminiscent of what we saw in the technology space, big tech.
Square's having a big day today, up over 4% on Square. That's holding that 200 on a daily chart here, you can see. And that support is clear as day here, if you guys see that. Was acting as resistance. It broke that resistance, and now it's been acting as support at $200 on Square. So that might be a nice opportunity to jump in for a longer term trade and target that 250 area, which would be your resistance. So, just imagine what you're seeing here on this channel. And let me get up my annotation here. And what you're looking for is how it's been holding this support areas right at about 200 bucks. So what you'd be looking at here is a climb up to at least, 225 to 250. That would be the target profit area if you're looking for something like 3 months out until Expo or a little bit further. So this is a nice channel range bound setup. Airbnb climbing. But that looks pretty good holding that 20. We might be able to take a swing trade on that for about 3 months out. We're in May, so maybe August or September Expo on Square. Let's see.
Keep your eye on Coinbase reporting its first results as a public company, and it's been a wild week for crypto. Our King Rudy has
Square, if we looked for the September Expo here, the 200's going for about 26. If we have a 25 to 250 or a 225 to 250 target, 250 target, if we picked up that 200, that's going to make us about a 100% return there. Remember, break even is strike price plus premium paid. So around, let's just say 200 plus 25. So at 225, you broke even. another 25 added to that would be 100% return.
NVIS,
So at 250, you'd have
Michael
about
Victor is
100%
getting
return
up
there.
here on some volume. Michael Victor, India, Sandy.
And that's something that you're going out to that September Expo a little bit longer term there, because obviously you want to give it time. Like, you've been watching what it's been doing at support. It comes down to support at about $200, and then, you know, usually you see some big buyers coming in and it lifts right back up to that 250 within about a week or two. So, you know, it's been doing that, coming down to that 200, then within a week or two, starting to break out. So if you see a confirmation candle on Monday with candle above previous candle's body, that would be my entry signal for Square. You could even jump in now and then have that 200 as your stop area, because it hasn't really dropped below it. You saw the wick come below it the one day, but then continue to climb off of that support. So, you know, you could be watching for that close with the body below 200 as your stop area. I think that would be a nice stop area on any trade going forward. Square looks good, though. I'd go with that September Expo. You could go with the July if you wanted to. July 2nd or even the June 18th, about a month out. But, you know, to be on the safe side, from now until June 18th, it's 1 month. You know, and it's going to cost you, for that 200 strike, it's going to cost you $1,525 for a contract, right? So your break even is going to be $215, 100% return at $230. But you have 1 month for it to do that. If we go to September, all of a sudden now we got what? May, June, July, August, September. We got over 4 months until expiration. And guess what? For that 200 strike, we're only paying about $1,000 more. So you're much more safer going with that longer term. You're going to see less volatility during that trade. And, you know, it's going to be a little bit safer of a trade than going with a shorter term expiration there.
Resources to serve 1,500 clients in 52 countries. And outlast, with long-term conviction that looks beyond today's volatility. Join the pursuit of
HYRE, higher car shares spiking to the high 1271, 41% today, HYRE.
Just another day. It's the big sale, the big presentation, the day where
Company reported their earnings after the close yesterday.
Comcast business, you get the network.
So I really like that setup on Square. That's looking pretty good, actually.
Cybersecurity.
Airbnb is climbing. I want to see Airbnb break that 140. If we could break that 140 on Airbnb, we could see some more volume coming in there. But I like that Square setup. What do you guys think of that? Not a bad setup there, especially if you have that tight stop there at that 200. I mean, it's at 204 right now. You have a risk to reward ratio. You know, you're looking for a 4-point drop to exit out of that trade. You're looking for a 56-point climb or a 46-point climb on it to reach your target profit area. So I don't think that's a bad setup there.
Fubo shares off the highs now.
Probably going to look at that one on Monday and say I should have bought that one on Friday. We'll see what it does throughout the day here. If it holds and continues to climb, I might jump in it today. But I'd rather see that confirmation candle with green candle above previous candle's body here for that entry. That'll reduce risk a little bit on that. Avilio, Facebook was at about $300. Now she's up to, let's see. The volatility we're seeing on the news is just amazing. You know, that couple of days of pulling back, retracing down to 300, all the way up from what, 330, 332 almost. Big climb in just 2 days there. So we got to really focus on the news now. We see what the news is doing to the market. You know, with obviously Wall Street's a little bit different with a Democrat in office than Republican. So any type of news is going to spook the market a bit. Let's keep that in mind going forward, starting the trade challenge next week. Let's control emotions, see what's going on with the market in the news, and see if we can take advantage of it for that short term if it's a short-driven news event. I want to see SPY break that 415. It's been struggling with 415 all day. So if we could break that 415 here, we're going to be good. Might see another nice climb here today if we could break that 415. Jerry said her Facebook longs are rocking up 11%. Would you get into those today? There we go. SPY breaking 415. 510. Nice. Let's see. She got in at 510 on a daily. Not bad. You gonna target that 325 to 330, or are you just gonna hold that for a bit longer?
15% year to date. Dave.
Despite all the attention to exodus from New York City, tens of thousands of people are moving in, or perhaps even buying an apartment for the first time. Our Robert Frank has that uplifting story for us. Robert.
Good morning, David. In fact, yes, more than 20,000 people moved into Manhattan in the beginning of the year. That's according to the data tracking firm Unicast.
Google got a nice climb off that 2200 support area, and they got the contract from Elon Musk yesterday, so that's having a big climb today.
Record with over 9,000 new leases. Rental prices down 21%. Landlords now giving an average of more than 2 months of free rent. Apartment sales also strong in the first quarter thanks to people like Greg Franklin.
9,000 new leases signed in April.
Job in New York City. And while he
New York City hits rental record
able to buy a
with over 9,000 leases.
for just $500,000.
And me and my brother hated the idea of paying rent. We thought, okay, well, if we're going to pay $2,000 a month, we might as well get some of that back.
The problem is the city still has a near record amount of inventory. There are over 20,000
JP Morgan's still on the climb, guys. Financials are looking great.
in Manhattan.
Look at Delta. Delta's up about 4%. It's finally breaking above that 20-day simple moving average. Now, a green candle above that on Monday. That'll be a sign for me to enter and look for that 50 to 50 target by June, July.
Afford to live here. Now all we need is for someone
I'll make another trade on it then if it holds and could break above that 20.
you are just so on.
Airbnb's trying to break through resistance here at that 1004 candle. I'm watching that right above me.
Robert, what does it say overall about the economy for the city at this point, or what the expectations?
We are green on our Airbnb trade now.
So whether you can really raise enough revenue to meet that $98.6 billion budget.
Well, the big question is property taxes. As you know, the highest source of revenue for New York City. Only 15% of office workers are back in the city, so the commercial side of real estate is still really in the tank. Probably going to get
SPY still struggling with that 415. It looked like it wanted to break it, but did not close above it there. Let's see if she could hold and break that 415. I don't want to see that be the high of the day and then reverse, but if it does, we can look at some puts as a day trade here.
know how many workers will actually come back and for how long. So that's going to be a big question to watch.
Robert Frank, thank you. We're going to go back to the ongoing volatility trade for cryptocurrency.
An important part of this trade challenge coming up is going to be managing emotions and managing risk.
Capital co-founder and CEO and a former partner at Social Capital. Arjun, welcome to the show.
We could do that by focusing in on a day trade that we could take advantage of for the day, and then we could look for a longer term swing trade so that doesn't play with your emotions as you see that volatility come in from any type of market news events that come up here. There goes SPY climbing again. Airbnb is taking off nicely now, broke 140.
The parallel that we like to draw, because we spent most of our careers in network effect companies, we like to call it NM1. So broader internet, Google, Facebook, Yahoo. We draw that same parallel and say, okay, great, where's Coinbase today and how is it starting? So there are roughly about 50 million users that are starting to use it, about 6 million
AMC getting a nice move.
And so if you think about what the
Look at those candles on AMC again here. Big candles there the past 2 minutes.
you have massive growth, get to about 780 million to about 1 billion people using this, and with monthly transacting users. So you have a 10x to 50x.
We get another 8% move on AMC. We got that 387% gain on that out of the money vertical spread.
Exponential growth.
So given that
That 14-15 strike. There goes AMC again. 1366.
I think $120 million investment into Kraken, which is a close competitor to Coinbase, and you're on the board there as well. How do you decide, given the fact that this landscape is really just
Another big breakout on AMC. 1372, 1376.
play it right now, and not a lot of regulation.
Big volume starting to come in on AMC.
Decide where to put your money to work.
1378.
You could have asked the same question about social networking, the internet.
Look at the volume, how this just picked up the last 3 minutes here. I just put the volume indicator down. There she goes, 1388.
Visa was a network that we thought about from hardware. Eventually became more software. And you have edges and nodes of how that connected people. And if you think about currency
see, daily chart, that's still near the highs of the day. That's looking nice on a daily chart there.
And so while you think about Coinbase or Kraken or FTX or any of these,
$15 is that
Kilo Echo
resistance.
Papa getting a double downgrade from a buy to a sell at Citigroup. That's KEP.
in some senses, I would say you should be putting in your capital or investing in some of these protocols across the board. Anything that has traction. And so we think about gross demand. We have more data than anyone else in the world for private and public companies. And so when you think about an open world, open protocol, programmable and upgradable, where would you put your capital? It's going to be anything that's gross demand that's towards the future. Payments, rails.
Still on the climb. 1391, 1393, 95. There she goes, 14 bucks. Look at that volume coming in at the bottom there. 2.5 million shares, 1409.
Yeah, I think the way to think about it is you have
Look at that, 5 million shares just came in.
retail, and then you have institutions that are starting.
6 million shares.
And so when you have
There's got to be something going on out there, guys. Something's going on.
alternative coins, Bitcoin,
This is being pumped somewhere right now. 6 million shares just came in.
securities and assets, who are all
AMC's now up over 10%.
I think you're going to look at every major bank, then you're going to look at every major company, and you're going to look at every major technology company that's thinking about revolutionizing or staying current with their customer base. They're all going to use it. So I wouldn't
We have that, what is it, a June vertical spread? Or is it July? Let me see here. We have the June 18th, so that's great. Let it get up there, break,
Right now, I mean, certainly we're talking
and we'll take profits.
play as a joke. I wonder who you think has the last laugh, especially given the fact that we see the tweets from Elon Musk again in the last.
We're already up over, what are we up? About $1,800 on that AMC vertical spread here. Ephraim, what did we pick that up for yesterday?
what Elon has done to the overall community is bring it overall attention. And so it's kind of a call to arms to think about
Let's see what it's going for here.
Dogecoin or Bitcoin. It may or may not be green. There's uses a lot of energy. But the great thing about crypto, the great thing
June
about
18th, 14, 15.
it's upgradable. And so the
It's going for 28. I think we picked it up for 21, right? Let me see. 21 cents. Yep.
what he's calling other folks in the industry.
So she's going for what, about 26
figuring out how
to 30 cents now.
the internet. The early stages of social networking, you can make
We got how many contracts of that? We picked up 100 contracts of that.
but they got more efficient over
So this is how that vertical spread looks on it right now in the account.
If you think about how we print cash, how we distribute it, and
So
secure
obviously that long leg, you want to see that higher than that short leg there. So the long leg here, we're up $10,246. The short leg here, the minus 100 contracts, we're down 8,800 bucks. So that difference there is what our profit or loss is. So from 10,246 minus 8,800. So we got a $1,446 gain on AMC vertical spread so far on those 100 contracts. That's not bad.
if you take a step back
Airbnb continuing to climb.
of technology,
Big breakout on Airbnb now.
informatics is now becoming more programmable, so that means faster iteration time. We've all felt the effects of that over the last year with mRNA.
Here is the Airbnb trade I just made.
Faster, and who knows what that means over the next 5 to 10 years. We're talking about cryptocurrencies.
Up 1.7% on that. Up 58 bucks. Just starting to break out now. I want to see a breakout above that 142.50. If we see that today, we're going to be hitting our target pretty soon, I think.
So that we can actually
There goes AMC again. 14 bucks.
vaccine delivery, technology companies, vertically integrated software flows, they're all in the same.
Neo's taking off here as well. Let me bring that one up.
And at the same time, you take all of that and say, okay, how do you make these companies faster? How do you make these companies better?
There goes Neo. Another breakout on Neo.
That is the resounding theme across all of these sectors.
Let's see Neo 3-month daily.
Thanks for having me.
That one's been performing just like Tesla. Not doing much.
was up 328. We're just off the high.
Big breakout today though.
Hoping for a COVID update. Hi, Will.
Hi, Carl. Good morning. Well, for the first
Airbnb, you're starting to see some volume coming in too, but candle side by side here. I want to see that breakout above that 142.50.
Invisible enemy and saying that the nation has lost many loved ones. India reports
3-month daily chart.
COVID cases, pushing the total case count above 24 million. Singapore is tightening COVID restrictions again. That's after seeing an increase in
Bill and Melinda Gates have their divorce hearing today.
infections. New measures will stop in-person dining and limit gatherings.
That's breaking news. That's just coming out.
Dr. Anthony Fauci telling MSNBC this morning that elementary age students likely will
Let's see what Microsoft's doing.
through the start of the new school year. And 1.7 million people passed through security checkpoints yesterday. That is a new pandemic era high.
Guys, air travel hits new pandemic era high.
Says that masks will continue to be
So you're hearing that on the news. New travel highs here, new booking highs.
more spot on the street.
So that's good for the airlines. Airlines are going to continue to run, in my opinion. Let's take a look at Delta.
The world's first fully autonomous
Delta's breaking out really nicely today, up 4.5%.
I invested in a fund that invests in the innovators of the Nasdaq 100, like you.
Nasdaq QQQ.
How great is it that we get to tell everybody how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need? I mean, sorry. No, buddy. Only pay for what you need.
T-Mobile is the leader in 5G. We also believe in putting people first by treating them right. So we're upping the benefits without upping the price. Introducing Magenta Max. Now with unlimited premium data that can't slow down based on how much smartphone data you use. Plus, if Netflix on us, taxes and fees included. You won't find this with the other guys. In fact, you'll pay more and get less. Right now, pay zero cost to switch.
CNNE, Charlie November Echo, CEO buying 10,000 shares of CNNE, Charlie November Echo.
When we buy better, we can wear it long.
Insurance made easy, so you can get on with your day.
And A Holdings getting a little pop here. Again, the CEO buying 10,000 shares at $35.96 per share. In CNNE.
AMC just broke $14 again. Airbnb still climbing.
We finally got all the Dr. Pepper flavor in a zero sugar soda.
Dr. Pepper's really sugar tastes
There goes Airbnb again. Still at that resistance at 1030. I want to see it break through that resistance from 1030 at, what is that, about 141, 141.03. Breaks through that, I'm going to be targeting that 142.50 next. Let's see, United Airlines. Look at the breakout on the airlines today as air travel continues to climb like we've been talking about here. Those couple of days of that market news pulled us back a little bit here, but starting to climb from that.
What has your study found?
So, very similar to what we talked about just a few weeks ago, that a 28% corporate tax rate would result in
There goes Airbnb.
1 million jobs lost in the first 2 years and 6 million jobs lost in 5 years. Some folks are talking about a 25% rate, and while that might be well-intentioned, it still has a very similar detrimental effect on the economy. I know that there's still a million jobs lost over 2 years, 5 million jobs lost over 10 years. So we don't think that's
Airbnb getting right up to that 141 from that 1030 high here. Right here, if you guys could see.
bonds for
141 and just about getting up there and failing. So I want to see that break that 141, and then I'm going to be targeting that next resistance of about 142 to 142.50 for today.
Between where we are today and 25, where NAM would be happy to sell.
There she goes. Another nice breakout here above 141. Let's see if it could hold.
the proposals during the campaign of increased taxes on many things, including not only large companies, but small companies as well, and small businesses. And that's what our study shows. That shows the impact of those tax increases. And the bottom line, Carl, is that we received...
Up about 3% on the Airbnb trade, 2.68.
BERA, Bureau Therapeutics, opened at 11.41, priced at $11. That's Victor Echo Romeo Alpha, VERA.
Increases that were
That's climbing a little
IPO
bit,
for today.
up about $100 on that trade.
over the course of 2018 than had been produced or had been created since for 21 years before that. We saw record investment in manufacturing facilities. We saw increases.
I only picked up 3 contracts.
In pay and benefits. We don't want to lose that.
I like that setup, even though it's in breakdown momentum cycle here. It's been holding that support area, so that's why we jumped in Airbnb. Had a couple of recent upgrades to $200 a share by some reputable analysts. So I'm going to be targeting, a smaller setup here for a month out.
PLBY Group made 50 calls active now. Papa Lima Bravo Yankee made 50 call sweep in PLBY.
Carnival Cruise Line just at about the highs of the day. Look at that breakout on CCL, nearing $27. Stock's up $1.54 today, guys. Another climb like that, and those. What do we have? The 27.50 30 vertical spreads there. I mean, look at how much we're up on that trade alone today. Got about a $2,000 gain on that CCL vertical spread there. That's looking really good as that continues to break higher.
Which means a strong economy coming out of the pandemic is because business, especially manufacturing, has been doing the right things for the last 14 months.
I think that Carnival Cruise Line is going to see some action like AMC seeing soon. Especially with, you guys see the breaking news at the bottom. We're seeing a lot of Carnival Cruise Line, a lot of travel stocks taking off here. A lot of news on them. So that's telling you there's some momentum shift going into those travel stocks now. So keep an eye on that. Airbnb is still struggling with that 141 on a minute chart here. Notice the last time we came down to support at 25 bucks on CCL. I want to go over this with you guys. Take a look here. We came down to that 25 support. And each time there, we had that green candle like we're seeing today. Remember that? Green candle like we're seeing today. And then over the next couple of weeks, couple of days, we're starting to break out there and get that run higher.
Spiking to the highs now, just under $14.
So that's the type of setup that we're looking at as it came down to that 25 support. Came down to that 25 support area. It's breaking higher, and it's been doing that for a few days after it breaks down to that support. So I'm looking for another quick run there, and that 27.50 30 vertical spread for June 18th is looking pretty good now. And like I said, that's being driven by the news today. If you guys look at the newswire that's coming in and we scroll down there, you're going to see the airlines and the cruise lines have been on the top of the news here along with the AMC. Here's CCL. Shares of several hotel, restaurant, and leisure companies are trading higher as stocks continue to rebound following a sell-off earlier in the week. CDC decreasing its mask mandate is also lifting stocks in the sector. And then you see down here, Delta. Delta mandates all employees must have COVID-19 vaccinations. Wow. That's insane to make it do that when it's still an emergency use only. They don't even have full FDA approval, so I don't know how a company could be forced to tell its employees to do something like that, but that's not my judgment. That's not my call. Anyway, CCL down here. Let's go down, down, down. Airbnb, here's another price target change, 165. There's 140. So as you're in your trades and you go down, take a look at what's going on. Spirit Airlines upgraded. Airbnb on the top. Upgrades for the day.
Not corporate America, not going to even go to 25.
Baird maintains outperform on Airbnb. Lows are targeted $200.
So the rest of the world is frankly lapping us when it comes to taxes on job creators. They're lowering
AMD and Intel shares move lower after report U.S. senators considering semiconductor legislation.
investment to be here in the United States, which means we have to have competitive tax policies. And again, we've heard
CCL still breaking out.
or after 2017, 2018, 19, and 20.
That is a heck of a move on Carnival Cruise Line. And remember how we've been talking about it in the trade room, saying, guys, we're waiting on that news to drive the stock higher. Now you see what one single day is doing to this stock. You see that volatility. So it's important to control emotions here. You know, we got plenty of time for that Carnival Cruise Line vertical spread there. And we just need another day like today, and that's going to be green for us there. Pulled back on the news, held support at that 25 like we talked about. Now we're heading higher. We get a green candle on that on Monday. That trade's going to be in the green there.
Time to use debt is for a project that's going to last 50 or 60 years. Something that our grandchildren, even our great-grandchildren, are going to be using in the future. Why not invest in that today with debt like we would on
Do you have the July Expo or the June?
pay for it over time? Also, public-private partnership. There's a lot of private sector dollars that are ready to go into some of these infrastructure projects. And by government and the private sector working together, we can really expand on that. And there's been some really good ideas coming from folks like Senator Rob Portman about
I have that one as well.
dollars that already
I have the vertical spread and I have the July 1630 strike.
without punishing those people who are producing jobs, without punishing small business and companies.
If we could break above that 2750, which is a short-term resistance here, that's going to be a really great thing for CCL to be targeting that $30 here by, what's today? Today's only the 14th, so we could possibly see 30 by the end of the month here if this volatility continues.
Well, as we head to break, the S&P is up about 1% right now, 41 at 51. We're on pace for the best 2 days since early April, but here are the laggards in the index nonetheless. Haynes-Brown, Tesla down 12%, Occidental, Biomed, and Micron, which is down 8.5%. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Let's see, Alonzo says RXT. That was on the upgrades, I think, yesterday we went over. RXT, if I look at yesterday's notebook here. Yep, RXT was upgraded along with DraftKings and Kodiak. Downgrades that day were Dollar General, NVAX, and TSN, Tyson Foods.
Our retirement plan? No. Our retirement uses.
So let's see what RXT did since we went over it the other day. So you can see how news drives that higher there. Look at that. So it was upgraded yesterday, and she's having a big climb today, up 4.5% today. Holding support right around $18. Now you could be targeting that 20 for a short-term swing trade, or if you're looking for a longer-term trade, since it's holding that support area going all the way back to 2020 here. You know, you could be looking at a 20, 22.50 to 25 target if you're looking for a, you know, like a swing trade, maybe 6 to 12 months out till Expo. Not one I picked up. That's just something we went over on the upgrades and downgrades each morning. Let's see. James says thoughts on GSG. Well, so far it's holding that 20-day simple moving average. You know, you got to see it break that 10 for a continued breakout momentum here. If it fails at that 10, you know, you're seeing the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, you're seeing that crossover here. So that crossover here is telling you some momentum shift. So if it fails at that 10 and she starts to have a red candle below previous candle's body, well, that's signs that she's shifting and heading lower here. After having that big breakout that it's had from what, $13 all the way up to almost, you know, $16. And if you zoom out even further, I mean, this thing has really climbed over the past.
Now at $3.68, priced at $4.15 for shares and warrants. That's DBGI, now at the lows.
Are you getting complete price transparency? Expect
Let's see. Karen says, Dave, we should have bought that Dash day trade before. Wow, look at that breakout now, up 21%. What was that at, Karen, when we were going over it? I remember looking at that option chain. I think it was at what, like $3 for the day trade there? What were we going over there? I think it was the 135s. What was it? That was early on in the day there. That, on 128s, I think it was, right?
LFMD, LifeMD shares spiked
Wow,
to the highs
what
of
a
67
climb on
Lima
that.
Foxtrot Michael Delta.
Now, see, that's one. If we jumped in those 128s we were talking about, I think they were, what were they going for? About $3? We could actually graph it. Let's graph it together and see. That was around 935, right? Around 935 to 950, somewhere in that range, right? So let's just graph it, those 128s we were talking about. Or was it the 130s? It might have been the 130s. So let's link this with link 1 here, and you're going to see what they were trading at for these 130s. That's what I love about E-Trade Pro. So there you go. At that 940 area, they were trading on the right here. You can see they were trading. This is the actual Dash May 14th 130 strike calls. So they were going from anywhere between $1.25 to about $2.25 during the time we were talking about it. That $2 contract is now going for $10, $200 into $1,000.
Highs now, DASH 140.99 the high, up about 22%. DASH.
So that right there, that's a what, a 400% return? 10.3. Divide that by, and let's go by the midpoint here, about $2. So that's a 415% return. 415% return if we jumped in that when we were talking about it on the live stream before. It was pulling back during, I think it was right during this time here, it was pulling back, and that's what persuaded me against making that trade, you know, between about 939 and 943. But that's a nice setup there. Big climb. And if you look at the daily chart for DoorDash, I want to hear Charlie say it again. He's like, DoorDash, we could be targeting that $200 there. If you're looking for a longer term swing trade going into maybe, you know, November, December Expo. I like how it's holding that area, climbing well above that resistance. That short-term resistance was 125. You know, that next resistance is going to be about 150, and then we're going to be looking at that 175 area. So, you know, 175 could be a target for, you know, maybe 6 months out. And what you're looking is the past performance here. That's what we're looking at as far as indicators are concerned. Airbnb continuing to climb.
PFE, Pfizer CEO says expects evidence on efficacy of COVID-19 drug after the summer, says its COVID-19 vaccine protects against all variants so far. That's PFE Pfizer.
Are you guys ready for the trade challenge next week? Everyone ready?
To read the rest of it, especially the
There goes Airbnb again.
to go back to something you just said, this idea of Bezos as the monopolist.
Shares of Fubo TV continue to make new highs now. Shares up about 13% on FUBO.
James, you're the only person that asked for that one, so I'm going to have to stick with E-Trade. But I could go over Thinkorswim with you. You know, I mean, I do have a Thinkorswim account, but I just don't trade in it. I think I only have a couple $1,000s in cash sitting in there. I wish there was a way I could stream my phone. That way I could do my phone with Thinkorswim and then, you know, the live stream there with the E-Trade. AMC highs of the day, 415. There she goes. Look at that breakout on a today 1 minute chart there. 1425 just about. Another big climb there on AMC. That out of the money vertical spread is going to make us a, what is it, 387% gain? Well, let's see. We got in for 21 cents. 1 divide that by 0.21. That's a 376.19% gain if AMC's at or above 15 bucks a share on our expo date. You know, if we get another big climb like this, if we get another $1.50 climb, I'll be out of that trade and lock in about a 250% gain. That's what I'll target. But, you know, there she goes again, $14.30 a share. Now, remember, we were looking at some options on that this morning, too. Let's graph those, see what they were going for. Those 13 strikes.
8.5 all sweep now on BB. That's May.
They were going for about 65
BB.
to 75 cents. Now at $1.40, they made a 100% return, too. It's up 176% on the day for the May 14, 13 strike calls. Up 88 cents to $1.38. So up 176% from the close of yesterday.
There's a BlackBerry at the
AMC is still taking off. AMC 1430.
John's been a professional trader for over 37 years, and he is one of the country's top 100 traders. On TV, we report on how we follow the smart money from Wall Street's elite, who have the massive resources to give market information before the rest of us. Their unusual option activity tells us what they're starting to trade. Our strategy uncovers why they're trading it and how to follow along for the biggest return. It works on stock.
Pfizer CEO says expects evidence of efficacy on COVID-19 drug after the summer. What's that Hertz doing, guys? I know a few of you are still in that trade that we made at like $1 a contract or $1 a share, I mean. Wow, big climb on Hertz. $7.25. Could you believe that? Remember when that was just a few pennies? It was about 35 cents a share. Imagine if you got in that Hertz, 35 cents a share, now up to $7.25. That was just on what? March 4th. That was 2 months ago. You see what that 2 months did to that stock? That's why with options especially, you just gotta watch. You're gonna see volatile swings. Especially with the way they're leveraged compared to the shares here. But Hertz, I remember getting those $1.50 two-strike calls back during the pandemic there. And we were making quick day trades on those swing trades overnight, doing really well. I wish I held on to them because I remember we got a few leaps, if you guys remember, for the following year's expo. But I sold them when we had some nice profits on them. Definitely, if I see some value, value shares like that for the long term, I'm gonna hold on to those. Facebook at 313. Visa up about 1.28% today. Let's see here. Let's see what some cryptos are doing here while we're watching the markets.
Coming up on Tech Check, do not miss Airbnb's Brian Chesky at the top of the hour. On the quarter, the stock bouncing off its lows for the year. Gross bookings coming way ahead.
Dogecoin's having a big climb there, up 10%. Elon Musk tweeted that he's having his developers work with Dogecoin to improve transactions. So that's why it's getting that big pop on Dogecoin. Elon Musk is definitely pushing that higher. And you notice how when it drops, every time it drops, he'll make a little tweet or something to pump it up a bit. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing on Coinbase. Okay, Bitcoin's back above 50,000. I think that dropped down to like 46,000. Let me see. Yeah, 46,897.08 was its low. That Stellar Lumens keeps climbing there.
Anti-money laundering.
Bitcoin Cash up about 5% today. Ripple XRP up about 5%. Litecoin 3.46% gain today, up $11. She's coming off support from 291. It's right at resistance now at about 333. If it could break that 333,
MPC Marathon
you'd be looking for that
Petroleum
350.
News, Michael Papatrelli.
Trade for free at ZipRecruiter.com/index.
What do you guys want to start the trade challenge with? 2,500 or 5,000?
The remarkable GX Advanced.
Sure, Adrian. Well, let's take a look at Qualcomm. Qualcomm's getting a nice climb there. Let's see, it's got some resistance right around 134 to 135. If it could break that 134, 135, I'd be looking for that 140. Excuse me. I mean, you see it's got basically a nice bottom here right around 125. You know, it was acting as resistance from going back from last year. Finally broke that resistance. Now it's been acting as support. And that's a really clear sign there of a triple bottom here through this breakdown momentum cycle, holding that 125 support, starting to climb off of it. So you could certainly look and target that 134 to 135 target area for a trade like 30 days out till Expo. That's what I would personally look at. You know, but if you're looking for a longer term trade there, you could target that 150 if you're looking for, you know, 6+ months out till Expo. Or just a longer term trade having shares up to 150. That's how I'm analyzing these charts here. It's been holding that 125 well though.
More governors announcing they are opting out of the enhanced unemployment benefits, but do states have the legal right to refuse?
James, the thing, if we use the $2,500, obviously we're going to start a slower climb than make smaller trades. If we started with 5,000, we could do a little bit more active day trading. But that's up to you guys, whatever you guys want. Airbnb's hitting that 141 again here. Getting right up to that resistance here. I want to see it break that 141.28. Okay, so Adrian says he believes semiconductor companies will do well in the next 2 years. So if he thinks that they're going to do well in the next 2 years, we could look at So if you think they're going to do well over the next 2 years, what you could be looking at here is something going out a little bit further out till Expo, maybe the January 2023 Expo. You could pick up that 130 strike call right now for about $19 a contract. You got some good volume, some good open interest on there. You know, 1860 by 1950. So obviously, you know, you don't want to do a market order with that big of a spread. So you could be doing a limit order. You know, probably around 1910 you'll get filled. So obviously 130 plus 19, 130 plus 19, that's 149 break even plus another, 19 onto that. So at 168 you'd have a 100% return. So you know you'd have to really hit that new highs here from going back to February of this year, which if you think it's going to break out and have those highs from February, then that'd be a nice setup there. I mean, it's holding that 125. If you look at a further out chart here, it's holding that 125 support really well. So me personally, I'd be targeting 150 if you wanted to find a trade instead of going with that call there. You know, you could look at a spread, buy to open, sell to open, the out of the money vertical spread if you wanted a higher risk to reward ratio set up there and target those higher gains with the higher risk associated with that.
Companies. CEO bought 65,000 shares in QUAD.
You could look at June 17th of 2022. 145, 150 vertical spread. Let's see what that's going for there. $1.32 to be worth $5. That's not bad there. 5 divide that by 1.32. That'd be a return of about 279%. So you see how if you picked up the regular calls for the 2023 Expo, you needed what did we say, about 169 for a 100% gain. Here you're going to make almost a 300% return at just 150 or higher. So you're reducing risk, reducing the move that you needed to make for a higher return there. But the downside is, if you want to realize that gain, you're going to have to hold it because, you still have time value from now until Expo on both sides of those transactions, the long side and then the short leg.
Yeah, and DoorDash proving that it can really efficiently pull these levers. But Carl and John, it was kind of thought that both Airbnb and DoorDash could win.
ExxonMobil up 1.6% for the day, up about $1. Pulling back from the highs.
If we can do things like unmask, get out and travel while still ordering food, watching Marvel shows, even trade Dogecoin. So perhaps this raises the prospect for now.
FB, Facebook,
One or the other, that the reopening
says on Irish High Court ruling, we look forward to defending our compliance to Irish data protection. Says preliminary decision could be damaging not only to Facebook but also to users and other businesses. That's FB. Foxtrot Bravo. There's a Facebook now off the highs, 312.78 up 2.5% today. FB Facebook.
Facebook 313. I love that move in Carnival Cruise Line. Thinking if I want to do something else with that. I mean, it's been a tough week for that pullback there. So we're finally going to look like we're going to test those highs again here in this cycle. $29 to $30.
MPC, Marathon Petroleum announcing close of $21 billion Speedway sale and return of capital plans. As planned to commence a cash tender offer to purchase up to $4 billion of common stock. Says after completion of tender offer intend to execute on remainder of $10 billion repurchase authorization. That's Michael Charlie. Marathon says $2.5 billion of proceeds have been allocated to reduce long-term structural debt. Shares of Marathon were halted ahead of that news. That's MPC, Marathon Petroleum.
Avilio, your Palantir is getting a nice climb there. I know you guys like trading that one. Looks like it found some support around 1750. Especially if it breaks that $20. If it breaks that, it could be targeting that $22.50.
We've added 30 million new households to Disney Plus just in the first 6 months of the year. So we're extremely bullish. And in fact, this quarter's numbers were exactly as we projected internally. So no disappointment here. I think if you want to look at the actual rate of net adds, we've actually added more in the last month than we have in the prior 2 months.
Disney at 172 now. That one's still climbing off those lows. Amazon's up $55 today. That looks like that found some support as well here. Now, if you could get that break above that 32.50, I'd be targeting, probably about 3,500 over the next couple of months. But it had that pullback from the highs on April 30th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trading days. Just 7 trading days. It went from all-time highs to lows in that cycle. 7 trading days. Keep that in mind. If we could break that 32.50, I think we could see some further momentum higher there on Amazon. Google, let's see what that one's doing here. That one's having a nice climb off that 2200, up 1.78%. We could certainly do a class on averaging down and scaling in. That'd be a great topic, especially with the trade challenge coming up. Let's see here. Delta still climbing, nearing $46.
Scanning Whole Foods, to get into Go stores, things like that. When are they going to bridge that direct consumer relationship into parks to drive traffic, maybe differentiate on pricing? There's so much they could do. Are they doing that?
Yes, I actually think they are, John, and this is a direction they've been moving in for a while. I mean, I think that Disney is unique from so many of the other media companies because it already had that direct-to-consumer relationship thanks to the parks long before people were doing streaming. So Disney already had
DoorDash, we're seeing that move on DoorDash from that upgrade from Wells Fargo to 170.
So I think what's interesting with the parks is that, they've moved away from the wristbands, these magic
KC, Kingsoft Cloud
that were designed to get people around the
Holdings, January 35, puts at the bid 3,000 contracts. That's Kilo Charlie, KC.
using data to make sure people have a better experience in the
DoorDash here.
I think that Disney's going to try to
Upgraded to 170. She's at 137 now.
you can access all the content
137.56.
this idea that Disney doesn't have to go through
That's a big upgrade.
they're not reliant on the TV bundle, the cable TV
To over from equal weight to overweight on DoorDash there.
they really want to be able to own that relationship directly.
We love to kick around release dates, Julia, and the science that is the new window. Whether it's Cruella, Jungle Cruise, Black Widow, what is their strategy telling you about what they think cinema attendance is going to be like?
They're talking about cinema attendance now, guys.
Movies for the next couple of months, sort of until the end of August, are going to be available for Disney Plus subscribers for an additional $30 fee and also available in theaters. I think to me that indicates that they think that some people, maybe people with kids who are not yet vaccinated, people with kids will be a little bit more reluctant about going to theaters. But then by the end of the summer, once you've had far more vaccinations, then they think they're going to be able to really maximize an exclusive theatrical window. Disney is also unique from many of the other studios in that it dominated the theatrical movie-going business pre-COVID and had the biggest market share by a lot. So now they're going to be able to, wait until they think there's really a movie-going audience and then drive people to theaters. They have a Marvel movie coming out. They have
Palantir making new highs.
That's going to be a really important test of how good demand is for a theatrical film.
Great insight with Chapek, especially.
Airbnb is starting to climb right up to that 140 area again.
Laura Martin. Laura, you got a hold on Disney, but here's the part that I wonder about. Is Disney more compelling longer term? Do you believe they're going to be able to stitch together
Remember, we were going over Square this morning on a daily chart.
the parks stuff?
How it's been holding that 200 support area. Looks like it might be a nice swing trade. If we get a green candle on Monday on Square, I'm going to make a trade on Square here going forward, probably with the July Expo, maybe the September. Airbnb is finally breaking above 140 again, 140.36 on Airbnb.
Relationships from their DTC business. So they're going to try to bring you into the Disney fold when your kids are 4 and not let you or your kids out of that relationship until you die, essentially. So they are trying to find they're going to have your consumer data and drive revenue from that over decades.
What you're describing there, Laura, is this flywheel that another company, Amazon, has been so successful in creating. So if that's true, then why the hold? Aren't they going to continue to add more to this ecosystem, get more of our dollars, more of our data?
Yeah, I just I think this streaming service is costing them a lot more money in the near term. And this is a company that used to trade on EPS. I've been covering it for 20 years, and it just doesn't trade on EPS anymore. But call me an old dog, heart with new tricks. So the streaming assets are wonderful, and they have a lot of long-term value, especially in their data. But I would like to see EPS growth as those parks open. What's so funny is we're all talking about streaming today, which is fantastic. But let's recall the CEO here ran parks for over a decade. So I am highly confident that these parks are going to do fantastic once they're allowed to open regulatorily and go back to full capacity.
Good point. We are all talking Disney Plus. There is a lot of discussion around parks. Something I'm not hearing a ton about, though, is sports. I mean, as sports
year over year. So a lot of their free cash flow on the positive side coming from this empire is these linear networks. Now, again, as you said, the second quarter last year, all live sports was essentially off. So the numbers start getting really big really fast as we go into second, third, and fourth calendar quarter of this year for Disney, because all their sports is going to be back being played and viewing up. And so we're just waiting for venues to open in the real world.
Laura, finally, I know cruises are, comparatively a small part of the business, but it does seem to be the epicenter of everything political regarding vaccine passports and testing and CDC scrutiny. Cruises were an issue pre-COVID. We had our episode.
I want to see Airbnb break above that 141.
What your biggest concerns are.
Yeah, I think cruises.
Nasdaq's up almost 2% today, guys. Up 242 points. Dow's up 273.
Again, this is just about touch points.
There goes Airbnb.
Ecosystem. We talk about like the cable bundle or the streaming bundle. Bundling in cruises is just another form of consumer immersion in the Disney cult, let's call it. So I expect that super fans to take advantage of the cruises, but it's a narrow group of people. I mean, you don't need a million people. You have millions of people. I mean, people doing cruises. So it's just a more, it's the tip of the spear for your most avid Disney super fans. And it's a great investment for those fans, but I don't think it drives the empire's upside value.
All right, Laura, thank you for the report, but thank you for having me.
And it only feels like a million people on a cruise. Honestly, Airbnb is a one test week. And another thing is just that is up next. Tech Check is only getting started.
Check Check is sponsored by Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
So it's another day. Yeah, that's what most people think. But in business, it's never just another day. Every day is the day. There's the day your store has its biggest sale. The day you have a make or break presentation.
HYRE hire car June
Across the country.
$15 call sweep now in HYRE. Hotel Yankee Romeo Echo.
Goes right. See, that's the thing. You never know what the day might bring. So whether you do business on Wall Street or Main Street, you have to be ready. With the power of the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses.
I am excited for this new trade challenge starting next week, especially with the liftoff of support here.
Every device on it. All backed by a dedicated team.
We should be off the ground running quick with that trade challenge.
Big day. We'll keep you ready for what's next.
Shares of hire car off the highs at 1291 and I have 1345 earlier.
SPY, new highs of the day on SPY.
NBIS Microvision made $14 call
Continuing to
sweep
break
now
out
on
here.
Michael Victor India Sandy Microvision. Shares off the high on Microvision NBIS.
Is this a huge opportunity for consumer electronics? A record-breaking week for markets.
Is this crazy or is this crazy genius?
They're just killing it. The idea that shareholders not a beneficiary of this is crazy. Once in a lifetime opportunity.
For 1540.
We make USAA renters insurance for the stuff you love. Because if it's worth plugging up 5 floors, it's worth protecting. First flow is 33 cents a day. It's that simple. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
Let's see how our
TSLA
trades
getting
are
a
looking
constant
here.
highs on a spike in volume. Excella Technologies $1.55. X-Ray Echo Lima Alpha.
All right, we are looking good. Gonna end the morning session. Here's how we are looking so far here for today. Up about $3,050 for the day here on the trades. $3,054.96. That's today's gain so far. Still off, coming off the lows here. So looking for a continued breakout here in the markets over the next couple of weeks. We got some longer term expos here that are looking good. Let's see. JP Morgan trades up about 6%. Might do something more with the financials. FedEx looking great there. And Brer SPY high of the day. It's what I like to see. Amazon's up $60 today too. Take a look at Amazon. Look at Amazon up $60 there. If we could break that 3250 on Amazon, I'll be very optimistic of that 34 to 3500. The only thing I don't like about
NBC
Amazon,
Marathon Petroleum now 7-Eleven out with a press release.
the new CEO,
7-Eleven
haven't heard much from them. Don't know what type of changes they're making.
Yes, we absolutely do. The key is we have
And then obviously with the economy opening back up, I think more people want to get out of their house and shop.
That from Marathon Petroleum.
But Amazon's looking pretty good. And remember, they just upgraded that to what, $4,800? That just had a recent upgrade to over $4,000 a share.
Will hold it.
But guys, that's going to do it for us for the morning session. Nice job today. Let's see what DoorDash is doing.
At 59.89.
That was the trade of the day we should have made.
Shortly now.
Those Dash May 14th we were looking at this morning, the 128s. Man, they were at about, what did we say, $2 when we were looking at those? They were at about $2, and they're going for, that's not the right candle right there. That's just E-Trade screwing that up a bit. Those 127s are going for, the 128s are going for 910 by 1230, not 590 like E-Trade's showing right there, but 910 by 1230. Theoretical value 10.70. I don't know why E-Trade's showing that candle there. Dash is almost at the highs of the day here, 141, about 141.50. So guys, that's going to do it for us. If you guys want to join us on the trade challenge, take a look and come join us. You guys could join us by going to breakingchartalerts.com. That'll take you to our homepage here. And at the homepage, you guys could look at what we have to offer, what we do. We have our next trade challenge, annual trade challenge starting. If you guys want to join, you guys could go down to pricing membership plans under the join now. And then you guys could pick your membership here. Trader if you want the live stream morning. Pro Trader if you want the live morning and afternoon. Elite Pro Trader if you want all the classes, app, text alerts, along with some private lessons as well there. You guys can use promo code, what is it, Rally? I think we still have promo code Challenge open actually as well. Let's see if that one still works. I'm not sure if the developers took that one off. Yeah, it brings it down to $17.50, so that's a bigger savings than the promo code Rally. So that'll take the price down to $17.50. $17.50, divide that by 12. You're only paying $145 a month for the Elite Pro Trader by using that promo code there, promo code Challenge. So take advantage of that. Trade challenge is starting, and we'll be starting that next week there. And like I said, our goals on that, we're going to be focusing in on some day trades and some swing trades as well. Just 2 trades at a time. We'll analyze those charts each day on those trades and get a rhythm going there. We'll start off small, build that account up, and then we could possibly move it to a level 3 options and do some vertical spreads with it. But we'll start off with level 2, calls, puts, covered calls there. We're obviously not going to be doing covered calls, but we'll look at some regular calls, puts, or we could do a margin account there and do some vertical spreads. Not sure what I said it was going to be. Was it going to be a margin account level 3 or level 2? I just opened the account for that, so I'll just have to apply for the upgrade if we're going to do level 3. If you guys want to do level 3 and we could do spreads on it, that'll be fine as well.
Petroleum is open
But
now. Michael Profit Charlie.
if you guys want to come join us, go to breakingchartalerts.com. You guys could use promo code Challenge, sign up for that yearly membership. Comes out to only $145 a month by taking advantage of that promo code Challenge. So that'll do it for us this morning, guys. Hope everyone has a great day, and we're going to be searching for that day trade in the afternoon here. Definitely want to find a good day trade setup. Even if we pull back a little bit, we could take advantage of a little put there for the end of the day, or if we continue to climb, we'll find something breaking out there. AMC up 14.14 a share now, continuing to climb higher here. Nice breakout there. Alrighty, guys. Take care. Have a great morning. Have a great lunch. And I will see you guys live in the afternoon here. Take care, and I'll see you in the afternoon. We'll send out the app alert. Alrighty. Bye-bye, guys.